Basically, my philosophy is very simple. I believe in people. And I believe in people believing in themselves. For each individual is endowed with the ability to accomplish anything that an individual believes that they can do. So all of it emanates from faith. And in citizens, we have a thing called principles, philosophies, purposes, principles, purposes, philosophies, and beliefs. And that expresses in the website how we feel about people. Now, I don't believe that most people are going to die and collect death insurance benefits. I believe that most people are going to live and need living benefits. So as I've told many people down through the course of the years, we don't sell death insurance, we sell life insurance because it's there to help people accomplish their purposes. And this comes about by my own personal philosophy. As a young boy, my mother would ask me the question. She says, "Harold, why do you think you're better than the rest of us?" I said, "Mother, I don't think I'm better than the rest of you. I just don't want to be like everybody else." So I formed my philosophies quite early in life to the consternation of my mother, who loved me dearly and whom I loved dearly. But I was fortunate to be born into a family who had great concern about people. And my father was a minister, so his concern was from the spiritual aspect of life. My concern is not only the spiritual aspect of people's being, but also the physical aspect of their being, because people are going to live a long time, and we want them to be prepared for what's coming ahead of them. And there are many things that can happen to them. For instance, in my own world, I've recently had 6 bypasses, 2 renal artery stents, and a pacemaker. But does that slow me down? Does that mean that's the end of it? No. We keep moving forward because we have goals and aspirations and objectives. I believe we all came from someplace and we're all going someplace. And so it's helping people get to where it is that they're going, and so that they can live and be prosperous during the times that they're alive. And so that expresses a lot of my philosophy. Well, first let me address the financial problems. I don't personally believe that we really have financial problems in the world today. And the reason I don't believe that, I was born before the Great Depression. I lived through that period of time. I've seen many ups and downs in the course of my lifetime, and none greater than those in the late 20s and early 30s. Where the world is today is a very unstable situation because of the problems that we see existing in many parts of the world. But when you're dealing with the United States of America, realize that this is one of the empires throughout the course of history. There have been great historical empires, the Roman Empire, the Phoenician Empire, etc., the English Empire, the British Empire. There have been all of these great past empires. We're living in a time and period in history where today the United States is the great empire. How long those empires have lasted? Some 1,000 years. We're only 200 and some years old in the United States. How long the empire of the United States will last? Long beyond our periods of time, I believe. But the United States is a very strong nation physically, financially, and otherwise. And what we do in Citizens is take advantage of that for people who buy the Citizens products. A lot of companies will speculate with their investments in order to get what they call a total return, maybe in the 17 to 27% range. But when they do that, they're gambling. We don't do that. We purchase government guaranteed bonds and securities that are guaranteed by the government. They may not just be U.S. bonds, but they're securities guaranteed by the U.S. government. And so therefore we are protecting ourselves and our position. I do that personally. The company does that. And so therefore when the markets have fallen, we have not lost great sums of money like a lot of companies have. Some of the large companies in our country today have suffered some financial problems. as a result of gambling or speculating for the big return. What we want is a solid return, and that's what we give to the clients because we invest in these government guaranteed type bonds. A lot of times people will ask, how are you rated? And we facetiously but sincerely say we're AAA gold plated because what we invest in is nothing but sound, solid securities where we're not going to lose. Now, could we make more money? Possibly, yes, because we could do like others have done, gamble. Or we could offer annuities like some of them do. And they offer annuities that pay high interest rates, but they have surrender charges on their annuities where they can't cash them out without paying a fee to cash out their own money. Because annuity is nothing but a cash document. Our products carry life insurance protection in case the person dies, but we know that most of the time our policyholders are not going to die. They're going to live. And that's why we put the emphasis on it, the living side of it. Now we have this trust that invests back in what? Into citizens' stock. Are they gambling? No. They're simply taking an opportunity to get a market gain because the market has no ceiling. Now the market go up and down, and in the world today the markets are down. So the stocks are down a little bit. And then also, I say citizen stocks down a little bit, but also the whole portfolio of stocks across the United States is down a little bit. So it's what we think is a temporary period of time. And of course, if anybody needs to be concerned, I do, because I have more interest ownership of the company than anyone else. And let me assure you that I'm not concerned. It's how you think. What do you think? You know, what do you believe about yourself? Recently, when I went in the hospital, they were very concerned in the hospital. And as a matter of fact, the nurse said to me, said, you could die. And I said to the nurse, I'm not afraid of death. She said, well, I need a living will. I said, no, you don't. and finally, I had to tell her, look, my business is none of your business. but the whole thing is the way I think. And just to share with you this personal aspect of it, I was in the hospital. Very few people have had 6 bypasses, let alone 2 artery stents to go along with those 6 bypasses. I was in the hospital 5 days. On the 6th day, I spoke at a meeting in Waco, Texas, which is 100 miles north of. Now, how do you do that? You don't think negatively, you think positively. You don't feel sorry for yourself. You kick yourself in the rear end and make yourself go. See, because we have the choices of how we want to think. See, I get up in the morning and let's just say, for instance, that I don't feel good. Now, the truth is, hey, I don't feel good. I have a headache. Now, if I want to think that way, you better believe that today is going to be a bad day. But if I reject feeling that way and tell myself, I feel happy, I feel terrific, this is going to be a wonderful day. Now that may sound foolish to a lot of people, but it's the way I think. It's the way I believe.